On this episode of Purposely Curious, Leone and I share some pretty cool fun facts about some things we ourselves find very interesting. Some of these facts include our livers, a genetic mutation I myself am obsessed with, the Eiffel Tower, and some cat facts for the cat lovers of the world, just to name a few. So, if you're up for some fun random facts, get nice and cozy as this episode starts now. Hello, Leone.
Greetings, Mary. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How's everything?
Everything is good. How's everything on your end?
It's good. It's busy. It's been busy. It's just been dealing with a lot here on these side projects and the podcast and, life. And the weather's getting nicer. Not today. Today's a little bit cold, but tomorrow's going to get nicer. And I think spring is finally here.
Yeah. It's definitely been a cooler year, which I appreciate. But yeah, it's been beautiful and windy. I don't know. Has it been windy where you live?
Yeah, it was actually extremely windy yesterday. It was really windy and cold. And I thought it was going to rain like any second, but no, it was just windy cold.
I thought the exact same thing. And, because I drive from place to place
Right.
to see patients, I drive sometimes to different cities. So the weather might change from one place to the other.
Right.
And I was like freaking out in the sense that I was like, I'm not prepared if it rains. Because I didn't, it was sunny when I left my place, and then it was like freezing, like 4 or 5 hours later, it was like freezing cold and windy, and it was kind of deceiving. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to get wet, but I didn't, thankfully. I personally enjoy the rain, so I was disappointed because everything looks so pretty and clean after.
Yeah,
rain.
It does. You're absolutely right. I love that sense also. I love it while it's raining and also after it's raining. Like, you're right. Everything looks clean and like better, like brighter,
Mm-hmm.
By the way, don't
Yeah.
you just love it that we always do a weather report every time we talk?
Yeah. Why is that? We're so lame.
I mean, we could do like, hey, what'd you have for dinner, instead.
I know. My dinner is pretty boring. What did you have for dinner?
I chopped up some little like skirt steak beef, and vegetables. I made myself like a little noodle, like beef bowl sort of, little teriyaki sauce.
Nice.
Turned out okay.
Yeah, that's good. I had, so what I try to do is, I'm kind of meal prep. I think we've talked about this before, but I noticed there were certain things I maybe were close to maybe their expiration date.
Right.
So what I do sometimes when that happens is I won't buy any groceries and try to work with what I have. So I made some chilaquiles today with some queso de Oaxaca.
Yes.
Okay, now the reason I said it that way is because I am terrible at pronunciation.
You nailed it.
Of it. I'm sorry?
I
nailed it, yes. Yeah, so me and my girlfriends we still like to brunch, but things have changed since COVID. We used to go to this place called Luminarias that is here in Monterey Park, I believe.
Up in the hill, yeah.
Up in the hill.
Mm-hmm.
So it's bottomless mimosas. You guys know women love that shit. We love to get together. Our conversations are different now. You know what I mean?
Right.
When we were 20s, we were talking about dates and boys and,
Right.
Conversations have changed, but they had chocolate, like a chocolate, but it had the name Oaxaca in it. And I butchered it. And I don't even know how bad it was, but my friends who were like Mexican were like, ew. That's not how you say it, girl. I felt so stupid. So I really stopped myself and I try to pronounce it right, and I kind of like pause every time for validation that I'm saying it right because I felt like such an idiot. But yeah, I can't even tell you how I probably said it.
No, it's funny when you
Guaca. I don't know. Who knows what I said?
when you look at that, when you look at that word Oaxacan, chocolate Oaxacan mole, it's just one of those. Like it's etymology, it comes from Aztec, I believe. So it's every time you see like an Aztec word and you have an X and you have an H or a J and you're not sure, there's a Y, what do you pronounce? What don't you pronounce? It's always confusing to me.
Yeah, Yeah.
That's funny.
So that was, obviously parents are Salvadorian. So there's certain things we pronounce certain ways, certain words we don't use. And then growing up in the US, right, it was like I was having trouble pronouncing these type of words, but I'm learning. I'm making an effort.
Right.
So
good for you, man.
excuse me.
I mean, chilaquiles, by the way, that's something not every person knows how to make. It's not that it's complicated. It's time consuming.
No, it's not.
Well,
to me, but I'm not making the chips from scratch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. Cheater.
You're
a cheater. You're a cheater.
Yes, I was about to say that. I'm taking the easy way out. So, and it's like a tomatillo sauce, right? And then I put that cheese because I was like, what can I put this cheese? So I had made like a Mexican lentil soup like a week or two ago.
Okay.
So I was like, I need to use some of these ingredients,
Right.
So then that's why I had that chilaquiles in a small bowl, and then that was my dinner. So we went from weather to dinner.
Nice.
Now, before we start the episode, I did want to talk. I don't want to put too much time into this or give it so much energy, but in the last episode, we did an Army Hammer episode.
Yes.
Now, in the last episode, we did discuss basically the allegations against him, screenshots that were shared about him, and then the fact that people were saying he could have done this, he could have done that, and how, police departments have said, yes, we are investigating, we are looking into it, and then others, with the more serious allegations that were on the internet.
Right.
Where the police departments did say they had nothing to do with it. And then we kind of looked into how social media has solved some crimes, and one of them that keeps coming up on the news is the Kristen Smart one, and how, I was just trying to say, what if, right, these allegations could be true? And, what I mean? That's all I was saying.
Right.
So I got my first hate mail. Now we're not going to just think of like, if like Taylor Swift fans, if you said anything bad about Taylor Swift, they will fucking like go after you. So it was kind of, I've heard of people say, hey, people come after me after I published this or did this, but it had never happened to me. So when I logged in, I was like, oh my God, I got my first hate mail. And I like was so excited. I messaged Leone. I texted him and I was like, oh my God, I got my first hate mail. Like I felt like I made it. Like I was like, I triggered somebody, or maybe I have triggered someone before, but they just never took the time. And it was one who was really upset about it. And again, I'm not trying to give more energy than this. But I had like maybe two others. So it was like a total of 3. And that's the most I've ever felt I triggered someone. So the episode is getting traction. And so I don't know if it's going to be the last, but I just didn't realize he had a Army Hammer, army. So, but again, not going back to the comments, I'm letting it go because, I'm all about positivity. I was just excited that, I can check that off my list.
I want to say something short though. I want to say something quick about this. That person, okay, or if there are more than one, they missed the whole point when you said a few times, okay, during the episode, you said, this is all information that's public, that's online. We're not making stuff up. We're just reporting, or we're talking about what we're seeing online. So it's not like we're spreading rumors or making stuff up. It's not us. We're just saying, hey, Variety wrote about this. Hey, this person wrote about it. So I don't understand how that person missed that part,
Yeah, it is what it is. So thank you guys for your hate mail. And like I said, this is my hobby. So I just want to do with things that interest me. I'm a person who questions things. That's why it's called Purposely Curious. Could it be possible? Could it not? So you are going to get a lot of episodes like that. So I'm assuming that I'll probably trigger someone in the future again. And that's fine. I'm totally cool with it. I was not fazed by it. I was just excited that it finally happened. So I feel like I've joined the ranks of Joe Rogan.
Yeah, right. Oh my god, it's too funny.
But anyways, yeah. So on this episode, I just kind of wanted to do a little fun fact episode. And again, this is just random fun facts that me and Leone and maybe one or two others may have that maybe you guys might find interesting. So Leone, I would love for you to start with a fun fact.
In space, no one can hear you scream. That's actually a quote from the movie Alien. Back when they were promoting the movie, the marketing behind the movie. But actually, I want to talk about the quietest place on Earth. It's an actual laboratory. Have you heard of this place?
No.
It's called. It's in Minnesota. It's called the Minnesota's Orfield Laboratories. Okay, it's a chamber that is so quiet that the background noise is measured in negative decibels, negative 9.4 decibels to be exact. So what does that mean? Okay. Now, not only can you hear your own heart beating and sometimes hear your lungs when it's that quiet, but those who have entered a space have trouble standing up due to the fact that humans use sounds to orient themselves. So that means that anyone who spends a little time in the room needs to be seated, but they won't be there for long. And the longest time that anybody spent in that room, can you guess?
No.
45 minutes in extreme silence. That's it.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. That is crazy.
So a room like that is used for research. So when they make intricate things like small speakers, microphones for iPhones and computers and stuff like that, that's the kind of research that they use it for. But it's crazy that we think of, hey, let's I want my peace and quiet. But if you really had super, super quiet, you'd go crazy.
Wow. Yeah. It's crazy too. And then if like the opposite, right? If you're in an MRI machine.
Yes.
And so, after a while you grow crazy and with too much noise. Like, it's so weird.
That is true.
So
that is true. Have you ever been in one of those?
I have. Yeah. Yeah. And I think it was 20 minutes long when I was in the MRI machine. And I have told people if it had gone 5 minutes more, I would have been, because I was starting to fidget and move around a little more.
Right.
Because you're trying to zone the noise out, right? So I'm assuming you're trying to zone the silence out.
Right.
I don't know how you do that, but interesting. But yeah, it's crazy.
I was there once. I had a football injury in my knee when I was 18 years old, and I think it was longer than 20 minutes. It might have been like 40 something minutes, But the cool thing is the technician had me wear headphones. These are special headphones that only transmit air. They're made of like rubber or something, So he would play music for me, and then he would also communicate with me, because all you would hear is knocking sounds. And like you said, yeah, I think after 20, 40 minutes, you go pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you got for me?
So I am going to be interviewing someone that was a high school teacher who donated his liver. No, not his whole liver. But that's where I learned, and this is me coming from, I'm a fucking nurse, guys. I had no idea the liver is the only organ that possesses the capacity to regenerate itself.
Yes.
Did you know that? Yeah. I had no idea. Like, I was cramming school information and I didn't know this, but then I don't work in anything that has to do with the liver, really. So to me, that was, like crazy. So you can donate 50%, or 49 or in the 40% of your liver.
Right.
And then with time, it regenerates itself back to its full size. So the liver is constantly in a state of regeneration. And apparently this is something that was also mentioned in Greek mythology. And so that's one of the most, I guess, amazing organs we have. I mean, every organ is amazing, I guess, right. But I had no idea that the liver regenerates itself.
Yeah, and
there's like it's the only one.
Yeah. There's like one small downside to that is people who consume excessive like alcohol, stuff like that, like eventually, certain cells get triggered, and then you have cancer cells, and
Right.
liver cancer. It's kind of a big deal, but
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
Yeah.
it is a fascinating organ for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have another one for me?
Yeah, you ever heard the phrase? And the first time I ever saw this was like a few years ago. You ever heard the phrase "keep calm and carry on"?
Yes.
That's a meme, right?
Yes.
And I did not know where that was from. I kept asking people, nobody knew. And everybody would always point to some reality housewives of something, right? Something. And I'm like, what? So apparently it's been repurposed. It's been used for many, many years. The popular "keep calm and carry on" slogan was originally created by the British government, and it was used as a form of propaganda to urge its citizens to stay civil during World War II, because unfortunately London was one of those cities where they were being bombed by the Germans and the German Nazis like daily. Like daily they would just destroy their churches and buildings for no reason. They would just do it, So that was kind of like their slogan, their thing. And I honestly, I've never even heard of this, but of course years later in the 2000s, a poster was discovered, and many of the companies that used it as a slogan and marketing theme for their products, So apparently it goes back to World War II.
Yeah. Interesting. I do remember it was kind of like a big, I did know it was English, because they would have like the English flag on those memes when they first came out. But I didn't realize it was a government thing. So that's interesting. Yeah. Huh. Well, people still use that phrase too.
I know it's
I
like
think.
you can apply it to anything. It's like keep calm, what is it? Keep calm and keep dancing or something. Keep calm and I don't know, whatever. Fill in the blank,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's funny.
Yeah. So now this one, remember you and I did an episode on the CCR5 Delta 32 genetic mutation?
Yes.
For those of you who do not know what that is, it's basically a genetic mutation in the cells where certain viruses and bacteria who attack the body in a certain way cannot infiltrate the cells. So therefore, since it cannot infiltrate the cells, the virus cannot, or bacteria cannot reproduce itself. So the bubonic plague and HIV have been two of the diseases that have been known to have some people, depending if they have one or two of the how do you say it, of the mutations.
Right.
Some people could get infected and then your body takes care of it, and then some people would not get infected whatsoever. So going back, I had mentioned the COVID-19 affecting the cells the same. And remember, I even told you, could it be that maybe people with this mutation may not get it as hard, even with high viral counts?
Right.
So there are studies that are suggesting that may be the case now.
Interesting.
So I feel vindicated, and I'm not a fucking scientist.
I am.
I know you kind of fought me on that. Not fought me, but you were like, I don't know. So it was published where they started looking into it as it continued to happen.
Right.
So Yale actually published that, yes, there is a link between CCR5 Delta 32. This is Yale University, guys. That there might be the infection, maybe, or not the infection, but the body will probably react in a more pleasant, or what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my God.
Like
The point is, the disease won't be severe.
Right.
But the tests are just new. So there may be people who could be immune to COVID-19. I'm not saying, there's no studies yet that say that, but remember when it came to HIV, right? If they had one copy of the mutation, they would get it, and then somehow the body would take care of it. But then if people had two, mutations, then they would never get HIV, So it seems like this may be the case with this. And this was published by University by Jay Gomez, who's I think from Mexico, who works for Yale as a scientist out there. But there may be a link. So I feel vindicated.
Nice.
So you guys should listen to that episode. It's one of our first episodes. So I thought that was really interesting.
Very nice.
Fun fact. I should have been a scientist.
You should have.
I know. I really should have.
Then we'd be talking all the time then.
Yeah. About like Petri dish stuff.
Petri dish stuff. That's funny.
Yes. Do you have another one for me?
Oh, I've got many. This one's going to be a little bit sciencey, but fun. Did you know that there's a common fruit out there that you probably eat daily, or most people eat daily, that is actually naturally radioactive?
No, I did not know that.
Can you guess which one?
That is radioactive.
Yes.
Naturally radioactive.
Yes.
And people eat it every day?
Oh, yeah.
Carrot? No, wait. Is carrot a fruit?
You go for the most obscure thing ever. No, Mary cannot think of an orange or an apple. No. Hey, is this a papaya fruit?
Oh my God, is it papaya?
No.
What is it? Guys, don't send me hate over that. Over the carrot.
Too funny.
What is it?
Try a banana.
Oh.
So bananas are naturally radioactive, and that's because they have an isotope of potassium that's actually radioactive. And people get scared of the word radioactive because they think, oh my God, I'm going to grow another arm or cancer or something. It's like, no. There's a lot of radioactivity in our lives that doesn't do anything, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's just one of them. Bananas are, most famously yellow, right? But this came from the Journal of German Chemical Society. The usually sunny toned fruit actually glows in intense blue color, okay? So a yellow banana glows blue color when you put it under a UV light.
Mm.
And that's because they found out that the degradation of the chlorophyll, which, comes from plant biology, that happens in the fruit while it ripens is the cause for the funky blue glow.
Interesting.
So not only is it radioactive, but very separately, because of this unique plant biology chemistry that happens when it ripens, it glows blue. So something that's very cool next time you play with the black light.
Yeah. I don't have a black light, but it's if I ever buy one. It's crazy. I didn't realize that potassium was radioactive.
No,
I know
there's a form of it that is.
A form of it.
Yeah,
okay.
There's an isotope. Like naturally potassium is not, in its normal state.
Okay. Yeah. So it's interesting because the only knowledge I know about potassium is through work. It's low or it's high. So it's like, right. Don't eat bananas or eat bananas,
Right.
So, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's another one, well, sort of related to, when they observe thyroid activity.
Yes.
They look at iodine, right?
Correct.
So there's iodine 125.
I don't want to steal it.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say there's iodine 125, iodine 127 isotopes that are involved when in treating, thyroid hypothyroidism, they're salt pills, because salt can form chlorides. Iodine can make a salt when it forms chlorides, kind of like sodium chloride, potassium chloride, iodide chloride. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of one of the treatments we know to help regulate, your thyroid issues.
Yeah, and it's also high levels of iodine that is like prescription type style helps with if there's a nuclear accident.
Oh yeah,
the treatment is iodine, straight up iodine. So it's not, it's not that I do know that's it's not necessarily a safe thing to do, but in those times, right, when it's survival,
right,
you fucking drink it, or you drink it, right?
Yeah, they're pills. They're just,
Pills, yeah.
but I mean the thing
So I know
is
that, yeah.
the because the idea is that if you're exposed to like a nuclear explosion or something, or even a lab accident, because in the past in the lab environments we used to work with tritium, which is hydrogen 3, or phosphorus 32. Actually, phosphorus is very safe, but tritium is not. And if there would be an accident, right, if a tiny bit got aerosolized and it got into your body, one of the first organs it attacks is your thyroid. And that's exactly right as to why they prescribe high dosages of iodide pills.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I
no, I was gonna say, the radioactive iodine or radioactivity wants to attach to your thyroid, but the pills, the salts, get there first, and they prevent the radioactivity from attaching. So it's like blocking it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I only learned that when I was looking into Chernobyl, so that was interesting.
By the way, did you watch that show?
I did watch it.
Oh, it's so
I don't know.
good.
I can't remember if I finished it, if I'm quite honest, because it was a year or two ago. But that's looking into that. It's where I learned that iodine was a form of treatment.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought about, like what happened in Japan, back in World War II, if that was even readily available to people.
Right.
And then, obviously now, for example, there's all these accidents that happen. Japan again, right? Japan had that nuclear plant.
Yeah, Fukushima.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's like part of the treatment plan for those who were in the area. Or now that we kind of know more, right? If they're cleaning up, or when they were cleaning up, right?
Right.
If that's something that the workers have to take. I don't know. I thought that. I'm curious about that now.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's like one of the easiest lines of defense of your body. I'm pretty sure that they had to,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wonder if there's any like long-term effects to that.
Yeah, that's
like negative. Yeah. Looks like I'm curious about a new subject.
Yes.
And I'm sure you're gonna love it if we do it. But yeah. Oh, that's very interesting. I had no idea. So next time, if I ever find out someone, or if I buy one of those, is it LED lights? No, what are they?
Black lights or UV lights?
UV lights, yeah. I'm gonna try that on a banana.
They're actually very handy. You know why? Because you could turn one on and it kills bacteria under surfaces.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Look at you, Leone. Coming with fun facts.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Don't look at it. Because it'll destroy the pigments in your retina. And
another fun fact.
and you don't want skin cancer, so you can
Yes.
turn it on, but leave the room.
Yes. So when I get my nails done, which I do them myself now. I've learned, and I'm really proud of myself. But when I used to go get my nails done, they would always say, "Do you want to go sit under the UV lights?" And I'd always decline it because I knew as a nurse, it's like high incidence of, getting cancer, melanoma, and especially under the nails.
Right.
You can get melanoma, and under the nail, it comes on. It looks like a dark line, straight line. Another fun fact, I wasn't planning on this, but there is apparently a higher incidence in younger women having melanoma under the nail, and it literally looks like a brown line in the nail, straight, and that never goes away because you could get injured, right?
Right.
And have a little line, because that's happened to me, and I have myself thought, like, because I'm a hypochondriac, oh my god, I have cancer,
Right.
But then it goes away. But this is one that just doesn't, and it's pretty like a pretty prominent line under your nail. So yes, ladies, you may see women who bring their little gloves, right, without the nail tops at the nail shops, and you think it's weird. They have somewhat of an idea that they're trying to protect their hands from skin cancer.
Right.
But the incidence of melanoma under the nail is growing. So I don't do gel. I don't do any of that. And I let air dry. So warning to the ladies, and you can look it up. It's all published information. I'm not spreading rumors. So, so very interesting. So yes, I believe you on the retina causing damage.
Yeah. And just as you mentioned, the under the nail part, Do you know why it goes on right through the nail?
No, I don't.
Because UV light, when you look at the spectrum of colors, it's on the shorter end of the spectrum. It's just, just aside from violet, it's ultraviolet. The shorter you go in the spectrum, the higher the energy. So it can travel right through your skin, right through your tissue, right through your nail. That's why it hit right through the nail, and it probably hit that skin, and that's where the growth is growing, right underneath the nail.
Yeah. And that's the thing, melanoma is a pretty severe skin cancer. But like I said, the intention of these gloves without the tips of the finger, right, for manicures, the intention is good, but you can still get cancer under your nail. And if you guys look it up, there are higher incidences in women now you're seeing this on their nails. So be careful. And I would recommend you not. But it's a personal choice. So, but the information is out there on, science, journals. So if you want to read up on it, you can. The information's public. So good luck with that, ladies.
Nice.
And be safe. Yeah. I was not expecting to talk about that, but I love how we just went with it, right? We just kept going.
Yeah. I learned something new, because I never get my nails done.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you have another one for me?
I do. Now, I'm going to ask you, because you are a world traveler. You've been around, out and about. I have not. But you've been to the Eiffel Tower, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Did you know that the designer of the Eiffel Tower, do you know where I'm going with this?
Yes, because, can I say it or should I wait?
Don't say it.
So I've been to other Eiffel Towers, but they're not Eiffel Towers, but they look exactly the same. Is that what you're saying?
No, actually, something's something different.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you, the designer of the Eiffel Tower built an apartment into it.
Oh, I know there's a restaurant. Yeah, I did not know that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So get this, when Gustave Eiffel, that's his name, okay, designed the tower, which bears his name, he added a hidden apartment on the third level of the landmark, but he never lived there. No one did. Instead, the Eiffel used the special space to entertain distinguished guests such as Thomas Edison. So although it wasn't big, the apartment was decorated with wallpaper, furnished wooden cabinets, and even featured a grand piano. Now, these days, okay, you can get a peek at the unique apartment through a window if you purchase a ticket for a ride up the tower.
Oh, see, I took a ride up the tower and they didn't tell us this.
Oh,
I
no.
could have seen it. What? I'm so pissed. No.
Isn't that crazy?
That means
though?
I have to go back. Yeah, I did not know that. Obviously, what I said earlier, I wish I had known that. I really did, because we went up the Eiffel Tower. So I'm kind of bummed that I didn't know that, because then I could have kept an eye out for it. But yeah, so my fun fact was that he built miniature Eiffel Towers in different countries, and I didn't know until I went to Prague and saw that there was a small one.
Yes.
And so I know there's some other ones, but I just, and when we're talking about, we're not talking about the one in Las Vegas.
Oh, damn.
No, we're talking about, he literally was the designer and architect of those.
Right.
Back then. And so I didn't realize that others existed in Europe. So I thought that was a fun fact. Now I'm going on your fun fact. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. I didn't know that. I'm so bummed out that I wasn't able to.
But here's the cool thing, though. You get to go back now, and now you can go back and check this out.
Yes. So I actually go back in August if all goes well. I had a trip that was planned pre-COVID,
Nice.
and it kept getting pushed back. So now it seems like it's happening. So
Exciting.
I'm really excited. This will be late in the summer. But yeah, so I'm gonna have the evenings free. So I'm gonna try and see if I can get tickets to go back up one of those evenings so that I'll bring binoculars or something.
Nice.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. This is the nerd in me, guys. Yeah, so, but yeah, I do have a fun fact that one of my friends and lovely coworkers, who's a fellow nurse, also shared with me. She had gone to Panama and she told me, she's like, did you know that there's a hospital in Panama that literally is just 2 rooms with very minimal furniture that is meant to treat literally 5 indigenous tribes? She showed me a picture of the hospital and it's literally a room with like a desk and a like cheap office chair and another chair. And that's the hospital for these indigenous tribes in Panama.
Wow.
And it was just really sad because they don't have any supplies. And so here we are in America, right? Bitching about healthcare, and then they don't have supplies there. The nurses do the best they can with very little to nothing.
Right.
And it's literally, the picture she showed me was like a room with 2 chairs and a desk. And that's it. And this is for 5 indigenous tribes, these 2 rooms. That's the hospital. So I couldn't, that to me was like, I want to go and visit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I was in awe. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
I thought I'd share her little fun fact.
That's a fun
Yeah.
one.
Fun.
You know.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, that's something I would never learn anywhere else, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have another?
Yes, this one is about cats. If you're a cat owner, cat lover, and you're a female, this is where it ties in a little bit to a female and also just in general, but here it goes. Cats can manipulate us with meows that sound like crying babies.
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
Yeah, I've witnessed that myself, to the point where, I mean, to me it was creepy because I'm like, why is a baby crying on my doorstep, you know? And it was a baby kitten that was left behind by its mother, you know. And then we adopted it for a little while, and then I became sick and we had to get rid of it. Long story, you know. But research has found that our feline cat friends know just what to do in order to get us to give them food and attention. And this is a study that was published in the Journal of Current Biology. Okay, they found that when cats used a more baby-like meow, us humans judged it as more urgent than the regular cries. So,
Yeah.
how did they know? How did the researchers know that it was manipulative? Well, the scientists found that only cats who lived in single-person households developed this special cry, meaning it's only something the cat acquires when it has a one-on-one relationship with its owner. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the reason why I also think about this, I tie it into women specifically, because I've been out with like a few friends of mine who recently had babies, you know, women. We're out to dinner, right, or a movie or something, you know, and they were away from their baby for the night or for a few hours, you know, and something would come up and they would be like, oh, you know, they would hear something, right? Either it was a baby crying in the distance or something on the TV or movie screen or something, and they would feel like they were automatically lactating milk. And that's associated, again, this is something I know nothing about because I'm a man, you know, but as a woman who just had a baby, when you hear a baby cry, the natural response to your body is to start promoting milk and to start lactating automatically. So a couple times, like I've actually, you know, they would tell me like, oh my God, I'm leaking, like we got to go, you know, and I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, explain that to me. And they, you know, then they already told me, they're like, it's a whole baby thing. Like you hear when my baby cries, this happens automatically because it's like you're feeding the baby, you know?
Yeah.
So apparently that can happen with a cat meowing. How crazy is that?
That is very crazy. That is very crazy, but I'm not at all surprised because cats are very smart. My cat Luna has her favorites. Yeah, well, I've seen her. So You talked about manipulation, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this falls into manipulation. So this was years ago. My brother had a girlfriend or a girlfriend that he'd bring over. He was living with my parents at the time, and the cat, when she would leave, the cat would go and pee where she was at. Kind of like, fuck you, bitch. He's mine, because he cuddles her. She sleeps on him and she purrs with all of us, but her man is my brother, her dad.
Right.
We joke her dad, but
Right.
she was jealous. She was jealous. And my mom would get really pissed off. And she's like, she fucking did it again in Spanish. Maybe she didn't cuss. Like, that's just me, the cusser in the family. But
Right.
my mom was like, essentially, I'm translating and over exaggerating, guys. I like to over exaggerate my stories when I translate my mom. But she fucking did it again, like she left and she fucking peed again,
Yeah.
My mom's like, I know she's jealous. She obviously doesn't like her because when she leaves, she goes and pees right there, like kind of like saying, this is mine,
That's funny.
So yes, I believe in the manipulation and the evil.
That's hilarious.
And they have a reputation of being bad, bitches. So female and male, but yeah. Oh, do you like cats?
Here's my problem, my conundrum. I love cats. I can't have one. Can't be around them. I'm highly, highly allergic, And I found that out the hard way because I rescued that one I told you about at the door, And within 2.5 weeks, I mean, my lungs were full of fluid. Like I had to go to the hospital,
Oh, that's bad. Yeah.
So unfortunately, I can't. That's the sad part.
No.
But I did learn something funny, interesting, not that long ago, that scientists were studying cats as to why they stand on your chest and watch you sleep. Do you ever hear that?
No. Is it creepy?
Yeah, it's creepy. Unfortunately, it is creepy.
I'm not surprised. These bitches.
Yeah, they were saying that they're looking forward to eating your face.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's what I was like. What? But it's nothing personal. It's just instinctual, It's kind of like why they go after birds kind of deal. It's just that.
Yeah. And they bring it to you like, here's a dead bird.
Right.
Mom, it's a gift. It's to show you that I love you. It's a fucking dead bird, man. Like,
Right.
Yeah. Aw. That's so scary.
Yeah, it is weird.
So I don't know if you've noticed, like sticking with the cats, they love boxes.
Yes.
So it's like an Amazon box. They're going to go in it.
Right.
So I saw this on TikTok. People were like, they say if you just do tape a box line, you line a box with tape, like white tape or whatever colored tape, that a cat will go and sit there. So people started doing that on TikTok, and it's literally just they were taping tape of color that the cat could see, right?
Right.
In form of a square, and all the fucking cats on that trend went and sat in the middle of the fucking tape. So I think that's interesting because I thought it was just like a box thing.
Right.
But so people were like, oh, is this true? So I don't know how the trend started, but the trend just went kind of viral. So people would be taping on their wooden floors and carpet, tape with in form of a box, and the cats all went and sat in the middle. So we should look into why that is, because I don't know. Or if you guys know, feel free to write to us and let us know.
That's crazy. I also love that every one of my friends who has a cat will publish a TikTok or meme or a post, Instagram, socials, and they all say the same thing. I do not know why I spend $200 on cat toys. My cat just likes the Amazon box.
Yep. Yeah. And now you can tell your friends. Apparently, if you tape a square on your floor, the cat will sit in the middle of it. So if you don't have an Amazon order coming in, you could just do that, and they do that.
It's kind of like their OCD. That's why.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, well, this was fun. I hope you learned some fun facts, guys. Did you learn anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
Yeah. So I really like finding a lot of fun facts that are interesting. So I learned a lot from Leone today, and I hope you guys learned a lot from him as well. And just I want to mention, since we come to an end, in the last episode I joked about that Leone fell asleep.
I did not.
Yeah, so a few people were sending me like laughing emojis, like, did he fall asleep? So yes, I was, again, remember guys, I like to exaggerate when I tell stories.
What I should have done, I should have sent you the episode where it's a 3-hour episode and I did fall asleep, and then the rest of the time is just dead silence because you're there just saying, hey, hello, wake up, where are you?
Oh my God. I thought you were serious. I was like, really? You fell asleep? Which episode was this?
No, because we talked after.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm totally confused. But
that's funny.
Yeah, so a few people thought it was hilarious and actually thought you fell asleep. But again, I like to embellish and exaggerate my stories sometimes. So in the Instagram post, I said, and listen to him fall asleep at the end of
that's hilarious. I guess people thought,
podcast.
Yeah, people bought it. So I'm like, that's cool. That's funny.
Yeah, I know. I say stuff to joke around, and so
I love it.
It's fun.
I love it.
So I will see you guys next time, and I hope Leone can join me again.
Absolutely. Always, Mary.
All right, so bye guys. That was episode 55 of the Purposely Curious podcast. Make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on most podcast platforms. And follow us on social media at Purposely Curious on Instagram and at Purposely C Pod on Twitter. That's Purposely, the letter C, Pod. Until next time, you know what to do.